श्री भगवान उवाच अभयम सत्व संशुद्धिर ज्ञान योग व्यवस्थितिः दानम दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम. Hello friends, this is the first shlok of the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says, Shri Bhagavan Uvach, which means Shri Krishna said, Abhayam Sattva Sanshuddhir, which means fearless, truthful, with purity. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, which means organized in Jnana Yoga. Danam Damascha Yagyascha, which means charity, restraint, sacrifice, and Swadhyayastapa Arjavam, which means self study, austere, straightforward. So, in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna will mostly be describing the qualities that lead to the downfall of the Jeev. So, in order to contrast them with the good qualities, in the first three shloks, Sri Krishna will be describing the good qualities which lift the person up and move the person towards Sri Krishna. So, here in the first shlok, he is mentioning some of those qualities, and he mentions that fearlessness, truthfulness, purity, knowledge, charity, restraint, sacrifice, self study, austerity, and straightforwardness. These are divinely qualities which move the Jeev towards his higher nature. So let's understand how these qualities move the Jeev towards the Lord one by one. So first one that Sri Krishna mentioned is fearlessness. Now fear actually arises from the uncertainty about the future, and this uncertainty only arises when we do not have faith in something higher than us which is protecting us. So, which means that the one who has faith in the Lord, who believes that the Lord is always protecting me, he will be fearless. He will not have any fear. So, the one who has faith will be fearless, and his faith will eventually move him towards the Lord anyways. So, fearlessness is a way which moves the person towards the Lord. The second one he said was truthfulness. So, a faithful person, of course, will never lie. He will always speak the truth because he knows that the Lord is watching him at all times. He will only speak truth and not lie because he knows that if he'll speak the lie, then Lord is always watching him. So that's why he will always be truthful. Third one he said is purity. So there are a lot of thoughts that are actually coming to our mind at all the times, and some of them are pure thoughts which are good, which are thinking good for others, and the others are dirty, which are selfish, which only want to say, propagate the ego. So we have to then decide which thoughts do we have to cultivate. If we cultivate the pure thoughts, then we will become pure. If we cultivate impure thoughts, then we will become dirty. Now, God always desires the welfare of all. Therefore, if we desire God, then we have to cultivate good thoughts, pure thoughts, which only are for the welfare of others. And therefore, if we can sustain this purity inside us, if we are well-wishers of everybody, if we only want good of others, then we will attain the Lord. So this cultivation of purity in our mind is very important. If we can do that, then we'll move towards the Lord. And then Sri Krishna mentioned about knowledge. Now, knowledge is the only way by which the Jeev comes to know about what is good and what is bad. The purity of mind that we talked about can only be sustained by the Jeev if he has the knowledge. If he has the right knowledge, then only he can cultivate the purity. Therefore, knowledge is critical for one's progress towards the Lord. Then Sri Krishna also mentioned about charity. So, charity, of course, is a way by which we perform service for the Lord. So, it is a way by which one expands the self from the concerns of the little ego, tiny ego, to the welfare of the entire creation. So, again, this is a way by which we can cultivate purity inside us, because then we are concerned about everybody. We want the welfare of all. So, therefore, charity is the way to expand oneself and move towards the Lord. Restrain is the other one that Sri Krishna mentioned, and of course, throughout many past lives, we have cultivated many bad sanskars. We have bad habits basically, and in order to overcome those bad habits, we have to have some way to restrain ourselves so that we don't go back to our predetermined patterns, predetermined sanskars. So therefore, restraint is very critical in terms of cultivating purity in our mind and moving towards the Lord. So to cut the old samskars which are bad and move towards the Lord and cultivate good samskars can only be attained if we have restraint. Then Sri Krishna mentioned about sacrifice. Now, sacrifice is performed when a person performs all his activities with a feeling that he is doing it for the Lord. So, such an attitude in life will definitely move a person towards Lord, because all his actions are motivated to satisfy the Lord, and Lord wants the good of all. And so, by sacrifice, we are also basically performing the same things that the Lord wants. So, we attain His nature by acting in the manner which is to satisfy Him. So, we basically move towards Him by performing sacrifice. Shri Krishna then mentioned about self-study. So, self-study is the study of scriptures which have been provided to us by our forefathers or by the sages of the past. So, these scriptures actually provide the intellect with the right knowledge, and based on this knowledge, then the jeev can evaluate the behavior of the self and accordingly correct it. So, such an effort is absolutely critical for one to move towards the Lord, because that is how we get to know what is right and what is wrong and how to act, and then the right actions will move us towards the Lord. Shri Krishna then mentioned about austerity. So, austerity is also very important, because if we live an extravagant lifestyle, then an attachment will arise inside us towards those extravagant luxuries that we are experiencing, and that basically will bind us to this world. Then we'll basically will not be able to be fearless, or the attachment will basically arise in us. And so, in order to remain unattached, it is very important that we keep our lifestyle as austere as possible. We don't really engage too much in extravagance or in luxury, and lead a very simple life, which is only that much that through which we can sustain ourselves, not really expand more than that. And then finally, in this shlok, finally, he talked about straightforwardness. And in order to attain Lord, one needs to keep life very simple. It should not be complicated. And so, a complicated life basically creates clutter in our mind, and our mind basically gets engaged and bogged down into useless stuff. While if we keep the life simple, only keeping simple needs, only engaging in simple activities and keeping simple thoughts and only wishing good for others, then that will basically move us towards the Lord, because the life will be simple and we'll be straightforward. So, those were the qualities that were mentioned in this shlok. In the next two shloks, there will be more qualities, and we'll discuss them in the coming videos. So, that was the message of this shlok. I hope that I have explained this shlok well to you. With that, I'll close this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.